Hello. We wear toques in the winter, eh? Hello. 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 Let me tell you about Putin. Hello. Hello. What is this about? Hello. What is this about?
All agents are currently assisting other customers. Please stay on the line and your call will be answered in the order it was received.
Grandson sent me a trip.
How do you know my grandson's name? How do you know I have a grandson? Hey! Hey! You can't be up here! If you break your neck, I'm the one!
Computer and program?
Stick with me, baby. I'm the guy that you came in with. Luck be a lady. Luck be a lady.
And Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Ho, ho, ho. Hello.
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 So yes, we're going to talk about what may well be the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's certainly up there.
it's definitely in a good tied contest for
Don't even talk about Die Hard
Die
being
Hard.
no. Die Hard is
Yes.
not a freaking Christmas movie.
If this is a Christmas movie, Die Hard is a
No,
Christmas
wrong
movie.
answer. This movie is about Christmas. Die Hard is not.
It's a Christmas movie.
Well, I mean, it does have that part where he says, "Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho." So
That doesn't make it about Christmas.
And there's Christmas music.
That's
and
like
there's
saying Iron Man
decorations.
3 is a Christmas movie.
Well, it's a
And
Shane
there's-
Black movie.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it a Christmas movie. Just because Christmas is in the movie doesn't make it a Christmas movie. Like, for example, Fat Man, which is even another movie about Santa Claus, I don't really think of that one as a Christmas movie. This is a Christmas movie to the core. It's just a very, very violent one. And so, hence the title. So there are movies that happen to take place on Christmas or around Christmas, but this movie is about Christmas.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes,
so-
it is. Speaking of Christmas movies, before we get into this, I found a nice little gem I wasn't expecting on Amazon Prime. I think it was called Merry Little Batman or something like that. Have you guys heard of this or seen it?
I saw it sitting there in my suggested box, but I haven't checked it out yet.
It's cute. It's good. It's good. I liked it.
Well, but then your what you say is good is frequently.
Well, it's a good father son family Christmas movie. Here, I'll put it that way. It's family friendly. So, unlike the movie we're about to review.
I don't know. This is a very family friendly movie as long as everybody in your family is an adult.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
It certainly talks about the importance of family.
Right, and there is an adorable little kid in the in this movie.
There was a lot of actual like touching moments in it too. You know, so
So the Renegade is arguing that because Die Hard is about a man overcoming obstacles to be with his family for the holiday, it's a Christmas movie. Okay, well then, so every movie about a man who's trying to overcome obstacles to be with his family for some special occasion is a Christmas movie.
When it's at Christmas,
Whatever. Die Hard is not about Christmas. It's about John McClane kicking butt.
oh, and I haven't seen
And no,
this-
Stanley, it is not Lego Batman. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I haven't seen this fella in a while. King Sport Cow, thanks for stopping by. Yes, you definitely need to make this part of your annual Christmas watch list for sure.
yes.
Yeah, this is actually something that our family, well, my wife and I, obviously, this movie just came out last year, and my wife and I saw it multiple times last year, and it's going to be in the regular rotation of Christmas celebratory stuff, along with Rudolph the Racist Reindeer and Krampus. I'm sorry, Rudolph is such a racist show. It absolutely is. I mean, it encourages bigotry on every level. So, yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
Speaking of Krampus, I've never seen that. We
Well,
were talking about that last night.
yeah, we may watch Krampus tomorrow just to ring in the holiday, because Krampus is another one that, like Violent Night, is a horror Christmas movie that is really about Christmas and the true meaning of Christmas.
But that one's like a horror, like straight up horror movie, though, right?
It's like this one is like a hard R action movie that's about Christmas. Violent Night or Krampus is a horror movie that's about Christmas.
Yeah, I knew that Krampus was straight up a horror movie.
Yeah. And King Sport Cow those words just don't. Dude, pick a theme and go with it. Because I see, being dyslexic, your username hurts me, man. Because it looks like King's Portal to me, and I have to fight myself to realize that's not what it says.
Sports Cal.
Says Claus is legit as well. I don't think I've seen Claus.
I don't even think I've heard of that one. I'll have to look that up. Yeah.
But this one is basically, and yes, Stanley. I told the one big difference between, well, actually one thing, and I think the reason that Violent Night and Krampus both work so well is that they take the existing folklore about these characters and then transpose them into the modern world. And so, like, if Santa were, and spoiler warning, if Santa were real.
What do you mean, if? Just kidding.
You probably do believe in Santa.
It's funny that you did that, Danny, because just a couple days ago I saw a short from, what's her name? Natalie Portman when she was a lot younger, where she was doing an interview around Christmas. Or no, it wasn't Natalie Portman. It was the girl that played Hermione. And someone started talking about Santa Claus, and she started acting like she still believed in Santa Claus, and she nearly walked off the the interview as a joke.
Yeah. So if Santa were real, and we're talking about the guy that's been delivering toys for at least 1,000 years, and he sees the way kids are today compared to the way kids were 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. I mean, he would. I would not be surprised if he felt exactly how Santa feels in this movie. Because kids suck now compared to in the past. And every generation just gets progressively worse. So, yeah. Yes. Why didn't Santa and Mrs. Claus ever have kids? Excuse me, the elves. You don't think the North Pole is just populated by elves, do you? And of course, if you do look at the actual lore in Santa, Santa is an elf.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Read The Night Before Christmas, man. He's a jolly old elf.
But he's a full-size guy.
No, he's a full-size guy in modern film and stuff.
Okay.
But, Stan Lee wants to see a DNA test. Well,
Yeah.
I don't. There's not that many people in the North Pole Mrs. Claus could be getting it on with. Just saying. I mean, there's Santa and Frosty, and the elves certainly don't look like hybrid elf reindeer creatures. So
I don't believe I know this gentleman, Mr. Pete Dencat, but he's got some suggestions for us. Thank you for joining.
Let's see.
Oh, and he's on my channel too. Cool. Thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like button for me, buddy.
And of course, John Gill, probably drunk, is saying, I idealize past delusions. You need to talk to more old people. I am an old person. And listen to the story. You know what? I'm sorry, dude. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, we did not do anywhere near the kind of crap little kids do today. And I mean, and part of it is honestly, I do think part of it is the idea, the old saying, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And as modern kids have access to stuff that we didn't have access to, like internet porn.
Oh my gosh.
And so think about it. Like for me, like porn was Playboy magazine.
For me, it was the lingerie section of the JCPenney's catalog.
Right. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, it
I
wasn't.
didn't even get the good stuff, but no, I get what you're saying.
Right. And so now it's like, if you just have, any computer, phone, or whatever connected to the internet, man, there's some dark stuff out there. And of course, we're giving kids access to the internet younger and younger and younger.
I am so. Yeah, you got a super chat.
Hey, Babs.
Jason is the lowest on the villain tier list, just below the Jedi, who are so blinded they can't see right in front of them.
From
I saw a
Palpatine.
hair almost right in front of my eyeball yesterday. So
Yeah. So there you go. You are the lowest on the villain tier list.
well, at least that's a safe place to be.
Yeah, but we're doing the villain tiers next week, Emperor. So, but I don't believe we're planning to include Star Wars villains in that tier list, but unless we really want to.
So I take it we have explained to the folks who were expecting the Star Trek thing that we're doing that next week because we want to celebrate
I just said it.
Okay.
No, we did say it yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stan was confused. He says, "What's going on?" I was like,
Right.
and then
But that's the problem. Not-
Thursday
not-
night is still. We've got some monster TV shows to complain about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can't wait for the new episode tonight.
Yes, you can, because you're gonna watch it
With you guys.
Yeah, maybe. Well, depends on if we get to that, because we got to figure that out. Anyway, but for right now. Oh, by the way, so actually, since you weren't with us yesterday, Danny, what are your scores for episode 4 and 5 of Monarch?
They were going to be my lowest scores. That's correct. So 4, I was going to give like a 5.5 to, and then 5, I was going to give a 6 to. So.
Very gen. So
I'm surprised with the 6 on the 5.
Jason, what did you give 4? I'm trying to remember.
I gave it a 5, and then I gave episode 5 a 3.
Right.
Really, I thought 4 was slower than 5.
No, I gave 4 a 3, I believe, and I gave 5 an FU.
Oh wow. Okay. Well.
And by the way, I don't know if you've looked, but for the record, at least as far as IMDb is concerned, episode 5 is definitely the least liked of all of the episodes.
Really?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing that Jason and I talked about it at length yesterday, but one of the big problems was the only reason for the existence of episode 4 was to show you that the brother was a pretentious dick who was a rich, spoiled brat artist that
With a secret bar.
With a secret bar.
Yeah.
And it basically took what was a likable character, maybe not like him. And then episode 5 made it so that we find out that the sister is a lesbian and was sleeping around. So she's a lesbian slut. And
whoa, hey now. Don't you get on to me about that's a harsh word.
Dude, I'm just stating facts here. And that
the way I worded it was a little classier. I said she's a lot more like her dad than she would care to admit. 'Cause they're both cheaters, you know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you did.
Well,
say
is it
that.
cheating when her dad's married to both of them?
I mean, he's definitely, yeah.
There's something going on, and it's not good legally or otherwise.
Yeah.
And King's Portal. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call you that because your name hurts me. I understand. Look, Monarch. Unfortunately, Monarch started out good and then petered out so far.
Well, I'm telling you, 6. You're gonna love. You're gonna love 6.
But
it comes back strong. Sorry.
You said that about 5.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay, well, anyway, Monarch, in my opinion, so far, it's kind of a disappointment. But I will tell you, check out Godzilla -1. That is an incredibly good movie. And so, and yes, What If, I believe, premieres today. And a new episode every day from now through New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I figured we'll just review the whole series at the beginning of next year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another big movie dropped today. Everybody on Twitter's losing their mind over Zack Snyder's
that Netflix
Rebel.
movie.
Yeah,
I've
Rebel
heard
Moon.
I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on that one.
Yeah, I know. Like I haven't actually heard any.
Oh, is that
good
that Moon?
reviews yet?
Yeah,
Rebel Moon.
Yeah,
His
Apparently
failed
it's-
Star Wars pitch.
yeah.
you know,
Basically, what I've heard from people is if you're a fan of the Zack Snyder style, you'll enjoy it, but there's no substance.
yeah, it's all style. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, he needs a good writing partner. I mean, he's great
Well,
at making visually stunning.
The trailer, I mean, I'm sorry, the trailer just looks like crap to me. I mean, and we talked about it before when I said, look, here's a unique idea, Hollywood. Have an action movie with a male lead. I don't sounds crazy, sounds insane, but you want to get me interested in action movies again? I'm sorry, I'm tired of seeing the strong, intelligent woman that's better than everybody else, and that's what the trailer of this looks like. And
You know
I
what
don't
sucks is,
care. I do not care.
I haven't heard anything particularly redeeming about the creator either, and based on the trailer, I had been kind of excited for that one.
Oh yeah, that's that other sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
I-
that AI kind of.
I'll have to look that
Yeah.
up. I don't think I'm familiar with the creator.
No, that one.
Or at least look up the trailer, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, King Sport Cal, we all are fans of Kong Skull Island. We reviewed that with the first
Yeah.
episode of Monarch.
Yeah, Kong Skull Island's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even for any of its, for any complaints that anyone wants to level at it, it's still an awful lot of fun movie to watch.
But you know what? I think part of it, and it's the same reason Godzilla -1 is so good, is what I think sets Kong Skull Island apart in the legendary MonsterVerse is the fact that the human characters have some substance.
Yeah, I gotta see -1. They've extended its viewing. It's still out here at South Point. I've got to
Yeah.
get.
Oh,
Oh, I thought
that-
you were going to get to that already. I thought you were.
Well, it was a money thing. I just got
Oh,
paid
yeah.
last night. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you'd already got the ticket.
Yeah, if you can get out to
last
see
weekend.
it, man, do it. Heck, see it with Stacy, and the two of you could review it together.
That's a great idea. I'll mention that to her. She's supposed to come by tonight.
I don't know if she likes monster movies, but
Well, I'll ask her. We finally got around to watching Death Becomes Her together, and tonight we're supposed to be shooting. As long as she actually comes by, we're supposed to be shooting that second episode, which will actually be the first that people get to see, unless you caught the premiere of the first one. So,
which means that we're going to probably have to, get a cattle prod to get you out of bed tomorrow, right?
I'll be good. I want to get off the naughty list. So yeah.
So actually, here's a fun question: if you're the one that they freaking stole from you, so to speak. What if you got a? I know, I don't know, Mike. You might smack me for saying this, but what if you opened up a Rumble account and threw it up there, or do they do copyright strikes over there too?
Oh, me for the
Yeah.
Mega
Yeah.
Wars? Somebody else was recommending Rumble. I'll give it a try. I still have the whole.
I don't
video.
know. Rumble started out by saying, well, we're not going to do copyright at all, but now they do. But I don't know how seriously take
I
it.
don't understand how Force of Light Entertainment gets away with doing a Scrooge watch along on YouTube and it's not struck. And they watch. I mean, they cut it down to a 30-minute video, but they've got the little box there. They're reacting to it like we do on our Patreon, supportsalty.com. But it's on YouTube. And
Well, it's very careful editing, and you probably had a couple of clips. Like we said, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Your hit was a manual strike.
I think
it
It's
was
because
not
Force
a
of Line
bot.
Entertainment is two hot chicks, and they can get away with whatever they want. Because
Well, no, it was a manual strike.
Yeah,
Somebody had a
someone-
grudge against you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at
And-
least if you were to throw it up over on Rumble, then it would give people a chance.
I do have a
to see
Rumble
it.
account. I'll upload it and see if it works. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was really proud of it. That was the longest video I've ever edited in my life. You know.
And the funny thing when it comes to copyright, because we show a lot of stuff on this channel, but I will say this: on the one hand, I totally understand that copyright needs to be enforced. There are people, but it's funny because YouTube is so selective about it. Because I will tell you, the copyright rules are so fast and loose under Shorts. If you read the terms on Shorts, you can show pretty much anything in a short. The only that's why. Have you ever noticed that there's all these shorts of people just showing clips from movies? And sometimes, like the entire 1 minute short is just a movie clip, or they'll have clips of shorts of somebody else's video and somebody just sitting there watching, not even reacting, just sitting there in the lower corner of the video.
The one that's making the rounds big time right now is actually on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You've got entire movies or TV shows being put
in
onto
1 minute
it,
bites,
just done in like 1 to 5 minutes at a time. And
oh wow,
yeah, it's crazy. So there's like 47 parts or 68 parts or something.
right?
yeah.
But effectively, it's
you're watching the whole thing, and it's because they simply do, and YouTube is. I mean, you read, like I said, read the terms. YouTube doesn't enforce copyright on shorts. They don't, because they have rules like your work has to be transformative. But by transformative, some people just see that as I'm going to stick my face in the lower third of the screen while somebody else's video plays.
Yeah.
And like, have you ever noticed like the ones? These are my favorite. There'll be a short of somebody else doing something, and then the person just doing this.
Oh, just pointing up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a really nasty one. Of course, it's only useful for people who have access to the revenue stream on TikTok. But there's this really nasty trend going on where what people do is they take somebody else's content. So, say, Joe Rogan podcast.
Right.
And they split screen it, and then they'll put like somebody cleaning carpets below it.
Right. And they say that's transformative.
Yeah, and they are monetizing the crap out of this stuff. Oh
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's totally nuts.
And keep in mind, this is one of the reasons I do not do TikTok. Right. For one, even though I know you can monetize TikTok now, and there's stuff but I'm sorry,
only in the U.S. and a couple other markets.
Right. But
Oh, King, yeah, that's dangerous. I wouldn't want to go there either, buddy.
if my daughter were on there, well, I don't know if your daughter's a minor. If my daughter's a minor and on there, you better believe I'm going to check it out, and I'm going to delete her account if she's doing anything inappropriate.
I don't think she's a minor.
I don't care if she's got 500,000 subscribers. But the thing is that TikTok, I do have a problem with the fact that TikTok is basically China trying to continue and accelerate the corruption of people in America, and they're succeeding.
Oh yeah, and as much as I do use TikTok, I'm very careful about what content I follow. And
never used it. It just I don't know.
Well, what's bad about TikTok isn't the platform itself; it's that
their algorithm is designed to mess with you.
In foreign markets, they have it totally rigged to corrupt people effectively.
Yeah.
And in
their
market,
home, it has to be educational content.
Oh, it's got to be wholesome, and oh yeah, they there's no playing around there.
And it has limits to how much you can watch per day.
Yeah.
So it is uh, so it is specifically China's attempt to intentionally, basically, they're overt Google, because Google tries to subtly manipulate with the algorithm. And they got busted a little bit about it with at the last election, where a couple of their executives were caught on, by like Veritas videos, admitting that they're going to try to manipulate the algorithm so that Trump won't get elected and stuff like that. But the you know, Google is trying to do it subtly, because if they get caught, then the American government's going to nail them to the wall with antitrust laws. However, TikTok, we have no jurisdiction over. And so the only thing we could do is basically block TikTok's access to the American market, and you'd have to VPN to use it. And quite frankly, I understand that a lot of people like LDG probably, freaks out when he hears stuff like that. But I'm not entirely against that. Because if you have a foreign interest actually trying to, mess with our people. And thank you so much, Arabic. And Arabic with a $2 super chat says, "What's this? No disco. I want my $2 back." Well, then,
Yeah,
This
thank
is going to
heavens
be
no
a
disco.
Yeah, this is a Christmas present
Yes.
from Michael.
yes,
to
and so
Jason
yes, and by the way, I'm accepting Christmas presents. So please, all this. Oh, and somebody sent me a Christmas present. I don't know who it is.
Oh.
I don't know what it. When we had to run some errands today, I got home, and my wife was expecting a package. So of course, because we have this great remote control system, it's called having a son. So we say, go get the package off the porch. But there was another package there addressed to me, and I'm like, I thought I got everything I ordered from Amazon and stuff. I don't think I have anything. So I open it up, and it's an Amazon gift bag. And so I'm like, wait, did I order another present for the wife or the kids that I don't remember? So I look at the card, and the first thing it says, salty. And I'm like, oh. And so it's something from one of you guys. I don't know if it's anybody that's watching right now, because they did not put their name on it. It's from a subscriber. That's what it says.
Oh, nice.
And I have no idea what it is, because I'm going to open it on Christmas. So I'm excited. I got something from one of you guys, so very cool. But for the rest of you that forgot to buy me something, I'm accepting super chats. So there's that. I really hope that now I got Bird of Prey 5. I didn't get a lot of Christmas presents for people this year. I apologize if you're not on my naughty list if you didn't get anything. Sorry, Jason. But I just don't have a lot of extra money. However, I did get Bird a little something, and he knows about it because he has to download it, but he doesn't know what it is. So
this is the first year I didn't send out Christmas cards in my adult life.
I didn't send any Christmas cards. I feel really bad because I realized like yesterday that I didn't send a card to my sister. I'm like, ooh. But she didn't send me a card either, so I guess I don't feel too bad. But she hasn't sent me a card in like decades. But I usually send her a card every year on Christmas and her birthday. And let's see.
This is the only card I got. It was from my mother, with the obligatory, religious quote at the top.
So. I did not obligatory religious quote. You do know what Christmas is about, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, anything she sends me, she always puts like a passage in there. So yeah, that's why I said obligatory. So. I mean, it's a very religious-y card anyway. I mean,
and John Gill randomly got a Bird of channel membership, but everyone gets one lately. Well, we might start doing channel memberships too if Jason ever.
Yeah, I gotta go dig around in there and go see what the deal is.
We got to figure out what we're gonna do with channel memberships, though.
Yeah, can't just be like, give me my money.
I mean, you can. That's nice.
Well, you got to do members exclusive content and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Right. Like we'll do like the after party where we just sit back and like after the live stream's over and say, "Yep, that was exciting." All right.
There. I'll upload a video for you guys of me shaving. Although we've swapped places, I do need a shave.
Yeah, I actually shaved this week. It was oh boy, it was getting pretty rough.
And of course, Darren is here to throw his Yuletide insults. So good to see you, Darren.
Hey, this is an interesting question from one of our viewers.
Oh yes, actually, I don't have the picture handy, but I do actually somewhere have.
Do
a
they
picture.
get a special version of Christmas in Kuroga?
Well, kind of. I mean, their Christmas is a little different than like in the U.S. and most of the world. On Christmas, Bird of Prey 5 rides his magic bed onto the rooftops of all the boys and girls in Kuroga, and pulled by Sassy, of course, and then he slithers down the chimney, takes their stuff, and leaves. That's Christmas in Kuroga.
So it's reverse Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
So it's Grinchmas.
Yeah, kind of, yes.
So the Grinch is actually
Grinch is Kurogan. Until his heart grew 3 sizes too big, then he became, a tortoise. But yeah, the Grinch that's a typical Kurogan.
This is starting to explain a few things.
Yeah. So yeah. In fact, the Grinch Mountain is in Kuroga, and it's right on the border with Turtistan, and Hoover is a remote village in Turtistan.
Oh.
So that's something a lot of people don't know. So.
Hey, Patrick, thank you. Happy holidays to you as well. And don't worry, you haven't missed anything. We haven't even gotten to the review yet. We've just been
shooting the breeze a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start with our obligatory hot take. So, Danny, any initial thoughts about Violent Night?
This is my new favorite Christmas movie. That's my hot take. And to beat out National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation for me, that's a big deal. So yeah, that's my hot take.
Favorite Christmas. All right, Jason. Now, Jason's first time seeing this movie was last Saturday
with us, which was awesome.
Yeah, which will be at on the Patreon tonight.
Yeah. My first thought.
Yes.
It's going on the forever list.
Nice.
It's an evergreen watch now.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is absolutely my man. It and Krampus are my favorite Christmas movies, and this one I think edges out Krampus just because that little girl is so sweet, and she offsets the horrific content of the movie so well.
Oh yeah.
Because every time she's on screen, it's like, oh, so you can't help but, and she's a good actress for a little kid.
Oh yeah.
So that's and in fact, all the family members do a pretty good job at flushing out their characters to some point. The one thing I will say as a negative is their treatment of live streamers.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
But that's a Hollywood trope now.
Bertrude. Yeah, Bertrude. Yeah. That's not even a name. That's funny.
Yeah. The new movie with the Stranger Things guy. Yes, that's one way to put it.
That is.
Which we're going to get into the details of right now. So that's good. We go past the good old Turtistani logo and Universal. By the way, you ever wonder what those giant letters would do to the tides on Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying. That would just completely wreck the planet. All right, so we start out in Bristol, England. And I usually wouldn't spend much time on a scene like this because this scene really has nothing to do with the story. But it's so beautifully done. And that's why I showed so much of it in my intro video. If you haven't seen it yet, it's at the very beginning of this live stream. Where we open up, and I remember Jason's first reaction was like midway through this conversation, he was like, oh wait, that's the real Santa?
Yeah.
Because you didn't know it was really about
No,
Santa.
no. I'm
Yeah.
sitting
Yeah.
here thinking, okay, this is just a couple of pretend Santa guys.
Yeah, just spouting off steam at the bar.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like. Is Santa's here at the bar. He's trying to get drunk because he hates kids. And there's another Santa at the bar who feels bad for him because, he's obviously had a rough night, but is talking about the reason they do the Santa thing is for the children. And he's like, yeah, the children are greedy and they just want the next present and they don't care about anything anymore. And so typical social commentary about Christmas these days.
Yeah.
And
He even threatens like this might be my last one.
he's talking about that he's going to stop doing Christmas. And meanwhile, but he's dropping little hints that he might be the real Santa. Like she says, hey, you're not, because he's slamming down the beers. And she's like, you're not driving, are you? And he's like, well, the reindeer do the driving, I just steer a little bit, and so little things like that.
Yeah.
But they think he's just joking around because that's something that a professional Santa might say.
Yeah.
But they're so they have this little conversation just about how Christmas has gone downhill. Then at the end, he finally he goes, well, presents aren't going to deliver themselves. Gets up from the bar, and then drops a present on the bar for the bartender's grandson. And says, hey, save me a trip, give that to your grandson. It's the new video game he wanted. And she's just like, wait a minute. How did he know my grandson's name? Because the name's on the box. And wait, how did he know I have a grandson? And then when he leaves, notice he goes out the door here, and it says, no access, authorized personnel only, because this is the stairway up to the roof. And they're like, she's like, wait, what is going on? Yeah. So she chases him off to the roof, and we get, what is kind of a cool little visual effects shot where she looks up, and there's Santa's sleigh. And so not only do we have the flying reindeer, but we see Santa's sleigh has jets to help the reindeer along, which is kind of a cool little effect. And I love that the classic Santa in front of the moon kind of thing. Right. And she's just like in utter amazement about the fact that she's really seeing Santa Claus. And you see that look of joy on her face there.
Yeah.
And then as the reindeer come up, and he just splooges.
Oh,
yeah. Campbell's chunky all over the place.
Yeah. And unlike the Michael Burnham shot, this looks like puke.
Yeah.
Like with the Michael Burnham, whatever water for some reason comes spewing out. This is Campbell's chunky chicken and rice, right?
Oh God!
All over. And so we learned a couple of things here. We saw that Santa was cracking walnuts with his bare hands, so we know Santa's a tough guy.
Somebody's knocking on my door. That's weird. I'll be right back.
I thought that was like a dog farting or something.
No. the dog was grumbling about something.
So we know Santa's very strong. We also know that he's not indestructible because he can get drunk, and get drunk to the point where he's puking. So he's not like a completely indestructible. And people are still talking about the whole Universal logo thing.
Someone, just as a side note, actually made a really we're waiting for Danny to come back. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but someone made a really cool animation as though the logo doing its thing is a
Oh yeah,
real
what it would
thing.
look like and everything.
And the
yeah.
person was standing down on the ground as these letters are rushing over their head.
Yeah, I think it was Quarter Crew that did it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen it. So she's just covered in Santa's juices, and then we get the opening logo for Violent Night, and so then we're introduced to the actual story. After that little fun-filled adventure in England. Now, one thing I will appreciate is that, and this is a movie mistake that happens all the time, and so they're showing that, okay, Santa's making his rounds in England, but it's still daytime in the United States, because England is 8 hours later.
5 for the East Coast U.S.
I thought it was 8.
No.
Are you sure?
West Coast is 9 hours.
Remember, 5 for you.
No, 4 for me, 5 for East Coast.
Well, whatever. It's still, so this could be early in the evening then. Or
You know
after.
who I work for. I have to know this crap.
Or it's midwinter. So I mean, like, so and Santa. Thank you so much. Wholesome family Christmas movie, Salty and Dork. You have been very naughty this year, Jason. You've been very good. What house are you at? Which house are you at?
The one in Canada?
Well, you have 8 of them. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
So which one of the 8 are you actually at?
The one I actually own.
Yeah, you own 8 houses. So thank you, Robot Santa. And if you don't know who Robot Santa is, you need to watch some Futurama.
I'm being tasked with a chore. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I apologize. It's just is what it is.
So as the story begins, let's just say, so if it's like 5 p.m. in Bristol, England, or maybe 6 or 7 p.m. in Bristol, England.
Now, if
it's early afternoon in New York,
although it shouldn't be. Well, I guess actually, if you consider how quick the sun sets, then yeah.
Yeah, this is winter. That's what I'm talking about. So, if it's 5, like right now, it's 5:51 for me, and it's pitch black outside, right? So if it's 5 o'clock in England, and keep in mind, he's crossed all of Asia off his list. He's done he's probably done with Eastern Africa, Eastern Europe, all that. So he's basically, because he even says he's between shifts, so he's probably just finishing up that part of the world with the UK. So he's got, here about 3-4 hours before sunset. So maybe 2 hours before he has to start work in Canada. And we do see that he's making his rounds still as the story goes on. Anyway, so in England, we find out that, Connecticut. I'm sorry, Greenwich, Connecticut. But that's still Eastern time.
Yeah.
So we meet this guy. I can't remember his name. I'm horrible with the names.
Dad.
Yeah, so Dad. And Dad is getting picked up by mom and daughter. And their daughter is Trudy. And she is so freaking cute. So I love Trudy. And mom, as you can see, is not very happy. And we find out the mom and dad are separated. Not the happiest situation for a Christmas. But they're going to his family's Christmas dinner. And but Trudy had just seen Home Alone, and she loved it. And you can see, and so they're gonna go and hang out with the family. They meet the security guy who lets them in, and they were like, "What do you want for Christmas?" He says, "Well, I wanted the day off, but I guess I wasn't on the good list." So they go in. Yeah, what did you ask Santa for? Not to work on Christmas Eve. And it's like, well, blew that.
Can't help you.
Yeah. And so because his parents, well, his mom, his dad is apparently dead. His mom is one of the richest people on planet Earth, and so he is filthy rich. Look at that house. It's on a huge estate. And you see, you've got all the servants and stuff getting ready for the big Christmas party. One little funny thing that Danny pointed out while we were watching it, this little Santa, notice it says male voice recorded, ho, ho, ho. That male voice is John Arbor, the guy that plays Santa.
Or David. David Harbour.
Or David Harbour, yeah. And Dad is transluce from the voice. I did not know that. I remember the transluce, but he died in season 1, so I don't remember the details on it. And did we ever see him? I'm trying to remember if he was just always. No, yeah, we did, because I remember he was spying on women in the bathroom because he was, anyway. So all the servants are getting things together. But if you look at them carefully, you can see it seems like something's up with them.
Yeah,
Especially that girl.
reindeer lady, whatever there with the red shirt was super sketch looking. So.
Yeah. Someone's evil when they have, dark makeup around their eyes. They're either evil or they're Batman.
Yeah.
There's really nothing in between.
No.
So lots and lots of work going on in the house. And so then they show up, and they put their presents under the tree and join the rest of the family for the party. And we find out that everybody in the family is basically, there's no love in this family. Mom is an old bat, and all the kids just want her money. And so they're all vying for becoming the CEO of the company when Mom retires. And Jason, that must be the dad.
Yes, that's right.
So Jason is the only one in the family that doesn't give a crap about that. He seems to not, and it's funny because it'll turn it on its head a little bit later in the movie. But Jason is like the one guy in the family who's the good guy, and he's got the sweet kid, and but for some reason he's separated from his wife, so something's wrong there, and so. But yeah, she's been screwing with some actor dude. That's her son in the background doing a live stream on his phone in a rather obnoxious way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they truly are merciless with respect to
The live streamers.
live stream YouTube people. Yeah.
Now, granted, there are a lot of live streamers just like him, and
yeah.
and I hate those kinds of live streamers. But
Alrighty, I'm back.
right. We're just getting into the family Christmas party here.
Oh, have we unveiled the woman who's in both of my favorite Christmas movies now?
No,
You
not
seen Mom
fully.
yet? Not yet.
We've
Okay.
mentioned that the mom is a piece of work, but we haven't said who it is yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you remember Bert, my sister's pride and joy. yeah, right here. Look at this. This is such a YouTube gone bad here.
That's probably TikTok. Who knows?
No, he's live streaming, so he's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, it's a shot at anybody who does video social media stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, this is Burt Locker. Yeah. Living that bling life. And and there are, I mean, think about it. There are lots of YouTubers that just sit there and their whole YouTube channel is about, look at all the cool stuff I have. And, and those people are oh man, every time I stumble on one of those videos, I'm like, I've gone to internet hell.
It's crazy to think, but it really is a thing.
Right. Well, and the amazing thing to me is that there are people that actually enjoy that kind of content. That's what's so mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, because I'm not interested in watching somebody else strut around about how awesome their stuff is.
Yeah.
And so it looks like mom and dad, while they may be separated, they still obviously, I think there's something there. He's telling jokes, she's laughing. They obviously share a disdain for the rest of the family. So then mom is coming, so everybody's got to get ready, and everybody's trying to jockey for position so that they can be the one to impress mom by being there, I guess. Which is, again, this family, instead of the Lightstones, their names could be the Gold Diggers. And so, we find out that, both Trudy is named, her real name is Gertrude, because that is grandma's name. And so Bert is short for Bertrude, because that's how much they're trying to kiss up to mom.
It's just savage. I mean, they just... Yeah.
So, you named your kid Gertrude. They're trying to say how you suck up to mom too because you named your kid Gertrude.
Yeah.
And then she's like, sorry, we can't all be lucky enough to have daughters. That's why they named their son Bertrude. And I do like the son's reaction. Mom, I can hear you. Like he may be an obnoxious live streamer, but dang, that was cold.
No. Okay.
That's why you shouldn't have cats.
Cat love that's not really love.
Yeah, it's an abusive relationship. All right, there you go.
There she is.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you too, Senator, which I thought was a hilarious button to that. Her cussing.
Yeah, because she's no wonder your husband left you.
Chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just absolutely reaming this guy, and then says Merry Christmas to him. Look at the closed caption there.
Yeah. That was the Aunt Linda that said that.
Yeah, I know, but it looks like the girl's saying that.
Yeah.
So this is definitely not a great family. That's the main point here. They're rich, but they are really annoying. So then we get this great little montage of Santa on his rounds. There's this magic compass. It's funny because we should have caught some of the hints. Like, look at his sleigh. It looks like a Viking boat.
Well, yeah, I mean, to jump all the way to that point of discovery, but there's definitely a lot of hints that are hiding throughout.
Yeah. So yeah, Santa's pissed off because everybody wants cash and gift cards,
Video games.
Yeah. And all the Amazon boxes under the tree. Which is so funny because we've got all Amazon gifts under our tree right now. Except at least I paid the extra $3 for the gift bag, so they're not literally in smiley.
Just the brown smiley box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's Santa.
Shotgun and a beer.
Yeah, shotgun and a beer here. Just like, and then yeah, poor yeah. She's just pathetic. Uh, there's a good Christmas gift list. I mean,
Cash,
man,
cash, 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 cash. Video games.
yeah. And here's Danny's favorite shot in the entire movie.
Oh, I loved it because he's peeing
Oh.
all over Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, there, right there, you can see the stream. Isn't that great?
Oh, lovely.
In case you ever wanted to see Santa's pee, you can see it right there. And so, yeah, and then he goes this one place, dude's passed out, and the little girls are sleeping, so he sweetly leaves a gift there and leaves him a lump of coal. um, you know, and then takes his beer. It's like, oh, yep, I'll take that.
Yeah. So remember, kids, instead of milk and cookies, be sure to leave Santa out some Miller Lite or whatever that was.
Yeah. And I do like so Trudy made a Santa Claus cookie that it looks like, boy, that Santa's jacked up right there.
But
So-
she made it with all of her love, and that's
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And she's asking, how does Santa know which chimney to come down? It's like, well, he just knows because he's magic, Santa's got Christmas magic. They do mention Christmas magic several times in this movie, and I do like that they don't try to come up with some really lame explanation for it. Instead, Santa just says, I don't even know how it works.
yeah. That's the part I actually like the most. Is
Yeah.
they lean in on the fact that nobody's got a bloody clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just knows it's a real thing, but he doesn't know why it does what it does. So, unfortunately, because of mom and dad being separated, dad didn't get a chance to take Trudy to see Santa, and so everybody's mad at dad for that. So he decides to give her a special gift on Christmas Eve, and so he finds a little walkie-talkie for her to open, and he tells her that the walkie-talkie will communicate directly with Santa, but because it's Christmas Eve, he'll be way too busy to actually answer. But since she couldn't talk to Santa at the mall, she can at least talk to him on the walkie-talkie and tell him what she wants for Christmas. And Ariel's in the house. And who's the middle person? Is James, John, Jennifer, something like that.
Some Canadian.
Yeah, that should be your name. Some Canadian. He is the Canadian guy.
The token Canadian. There we go.
And so she gets on the radio and starts talking to Santa, and they decide to go to bed. But then, of course, typical mom and dad, they're listening in on her. She's talking about, I had a big old list of stuff, but what I really want is for you to have mommy and daddy make up.
Oh.
Yeah. You're not going to cry, are you, Danny?
Not at this part.
Okay. And so we can be a family again. And then we see the reindeer have landed on their house. So things are starting to come to a head and this is a pretty briskly paced movie because we're only 17 minutes in. Mm-hmm. And so at 17 minutes, all the pieces are in place. We know, and this is like, to me, good tight writing, good storytelling, is that we know Santa's whole story, right? And that Santa is fed up with Christmas. He's tired of people just being so selfish and all that. We know Trudy really just wants mom and dad to get back together. We know the whole family dynamic between Jason and his sister and mom. And so there's a lot of stuff that they set up very effectively up to this point.
Including a Yuletide log.
Yeah, so Santa
Yeah.
steps in some Dasher
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Gets a little pissed off at the reindeer. Yeah, so unprofessional. And so, oh yeah, and this is like classic. Yeah, Rudolph will never do this crap. So classic Santa lore here. And for those of you that don't know, again, read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," or what's the name of it? That poem.
I don't know.
"'Twas the Night Before Christmas" and all through the house, all that. I
yeah.
can't remember if it's "Night Before Christmas" or if it's something else. Anyway, but Santa does have magical powers, but they're not they're not a ton of them. One of his magical powers, and the main one, besides being able to have gifts for everybody, is that he can teleport through chimneys by touching his nose. And that's classic Santa right there, So he doesn't need to worry about if there's a fire or not. He just teleports through the chimney, and I kind of like the teleportation effect they do here.
Yeah, looks good.
You guys
and-
keep going.
All right.
For sure.
And so Santa gets there, and he's like, "Oh, hey, look, check out the big old candy cane. I'll save that bad boy for later."
I'll save that guy for later.
Yeah. Looks at the cookies, and like he likes the cookies because they're homemade. So but then he gets pissed off because it's skim milk.
He just wanted an excuse to raid the liquor cabinet here.
Yeah. So then he goes over and finds 1938 brandy. I mean, that stuff's got to be some good booze. And and so he's enjoying the cookie and the brandy and kicking back for a little bit to just
little massage
oh yeah,
chairs.
and a massage chair. So Santa's going to take it easy for a few minutes before he continues on his journey. Meanwhile, the security guy is drinking his, and one of the guys that's been organizing the party says, "You Americans don't celebrate my favorite holiday." "Oh yeah, what's that?" "Boxing Day."
Wham.
Bam.
Wow, when you redo it over and over again like that, you can totally tell he didn't hit the guy.
Right. Well, that's the brilliant. That's how editing comes into play. Camera angle comes into play. Like he's probably good foot, punches the air a good foot away from his head.
Yeah.
But from this angle, it does look like he's really close. Like if he moved his head right then, it would be pretty convincing. But you can see, he goes past it, and then his head moves. Like his head starts to move right here. So yeah, bonk. So takes that dude out. Although honestly, if you punch someone that hard in the head, you would probably break every bone in your hand. So not a good idea to actually hit somebody like that unless you're wearing gloves. So the rest of the guys get the red snowflake symbol. So it's time to act. And so they all, it's like, okay, grab your guns. We're gonna take this party down.
About to unleash some brutality.
Yes. And we see John Leguizamo shows up.
Ah, this poor guy.
Yeah, and he shows up at the guard's house, and he's like, "Hey, man, my car broke down." And the guy's like, "This is a private road. Get lost." And so he shoots him in the face. Look at that.
Oh, that's terrible. Victim number one of many.
Well, two, actually. The first guy was the security guard, remember?
Well, he just got punched. I mean,
I'm sure he's dead.
oh, okay, okay.
I mean, these guys are not the type to just, leave them unconscious. And so it's time for them to go into action. So they all grab their weapons.
Yes, Stanley, this is a hard R.
This is a very R-rated movie, and
Yes.
this is where things start to really go sideways for this poor family.
Yeah.
Well, you say poor family, these rich bastards.
Right.
So we find out that the problem between the husband and wife here is that she's fed up with the family, and mom keeps making him do stuff that gets in the way of the family. So that's why she left, and so he's like, well, you know what? We got to get out from under mom's thumb. We're going to walk away. So this is the time that he's going to end it, and they're not going to even continue to deal with the family anymore. However, they don't have time for that because the party is being crashed. There's another victim. It looks like, bam. Although it's kind of funny. Look at that. Where's he shooting? See the guy standing by the shed.
Yeah.
Right. From the look of it, he's shooting way off to the side there.
Right.
Look at that. He's shooting like way off into the trees, but apparently it got him. So again, which is another Hollywood thing, because one thing they do not do, standard safety practices is if they're using real firearms, which it looks like they are. If they're using real firearms, granted, it's only firing blanks. However, you still don't point it at another person if you can avoid it, in order to avoid unfortunate things like what happened with Alec Baldwin last year. I remember where he killed that director.
No, he killed the
Director of
cinematographer.
photography, I thought it was.
Wounded the director.
Okay. But yeah. And Stan, do I think that's a real muzzle flash? It looks kind of digitally to me, but they still try not to point. If it's a real weapon, they don't want to point it at anybody. Because what if it accidentally got a real round in it? And you go back away, and by the way, Hollywood got really tight on that rule after the filming of The Crow.
Yeah, I was about to mention
when Brandon Lee was killed by what was a prop bullet, and so you got to be really careful about that, because even a prop bullet, if there's enough powder in the weapon, can kill you. Yeah, and exactly, Stanley. Like in John Wick, those are not real guns.
Sorry about that.
No, that's right. So yeah, when they're filming a movie like John Wick, where there's no way around pointing the gun directly at someone and pulling the trigger, then those are not guns capable of firing.
By the way, those are a completely all new design for use in movies. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
no,
I love the Wick stuff, so I catch a lot of the content that relates to the production of it, and those handguns in particular that they use, the barrels are completely plugged.
Right.
Like there's a welded rod in the barrel, and the blanks they use are designed to be able to just run the action on the slide, and that's it. So that it looks as real as possible, and then everything else is put in post.
Which I'm okay with, because I mean, yes, I believe that if at all possible and within the budgetary constraints of a movie, try to do things practical if they look good. I don't like when people say it has to be practical and then they throw crappy looking practical things in there. So do everything practical that you can. However, the exception is unless doing it digitally makes it safer. And so when it comes to firearms, particularly if you're dealing with real guns as opposed to movies where the firearms are like phasers or whatever. With obviously phaser doesn't shoot anything. So if you're dealing with firearms, much better to not even have a real firearm on the set.
Yeah.
And do it all digitally than to
Yeah.
take a chance of somebody getting shot.
Yeah.
And yeah, even squibs can be very painful. But squibs, if you do squibs correctly, they're relatively safe. And squibs do look a lot better than digital bullet hits.
Well, depending on how much money you're putting into it.
Right. Well, good squibs. I'm not talking about like if you're making.
No, but I mean even on the digital side.
Well, but there comes to a point where, okay, do you want to spend $20 on a squib or $200,000 on a digital effect?
Oh no, I know.
And
But
if
squibs and reshoots and everything, that's
Right.
the other thing is you run a squib, you wreck a lot of stuff.
right,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Stanley was just saying. They're a huge cleanup.
you don't just fire the squib, you tend to also destroy the outfit, the costume.
right, but it looks so good, and it's very hard to replicate that digitally. And even if you can replicate it digitally, is it worth it for the cleanup versus the pure insane digital cost? Anyway, so oh yeah, I actually rewound a bit. So all right, going back here. Surprise, surprise! Evil-looking girl is evil, as they're all getting their guns together. When he was small, I begged you to beat him. Great line. All right, there's security guard getting killed. All right, time to steal Chris's sound off. So now we find out they all have stupid Christmas nicknames because John Leguizamo has some kind of beef with Christmas. So yeah, so we have Jingle, Peppermint, Sugar Plum, Krampus, Candy Cane, and go for Frosty, go for Tinsel. Go for Gingerbread. And then we can use these stupid names all night.
Yeah.
Because those names are pretty lame. So yeah, we're talking about. We already covered that. I don't know how I went back that far. All right, so here we got So here's a good example. Like the knives coming in are obviously digital, but then it transitions to what looks like practical effect. And I'm perfectly okay with doing that rather than have a stunt guy take a couple of knives to the chest, Because, in the old days, they would have someone wearing padding and they'd actually throw the knife into the shirt. But the problem is that sometimes you have to do 50 takes just to get it to look right. And, and it is very dangerous because, you do it wrong and you could hurt the guy. She said, yeah, and so mom heads to the panic room and leaves the whole family to die, which is just, so messed up.
They kept her character extremely consistent throughout the show.
And so we find out that Leguizamo's name is Mr. Scrooge. That's his code name, because he wants to steal Christmas. And so Santa's like, what the heck? And so he realizes this is not going well, so he decides to bail because this Santa ain't no hero.
Had a little too much to drink though, so he can't get his magic to work.
Yeah. So he's having trouble with his nose. I like the way it sparks there. It's like if you have an old Bic lighter and you just can't get it to light up. So he can't get his nose to quite work. Either he's too drunk or just too tired. And he looks out the window, and it's like, okay, gee, that's not foreshadowing anything that's about to happen.
Right.
And so then he turns around and comes face to face with I don't remember if that's tinsel or
I think
gingerbread
it's
or whatever.
Frosty, I think is. I don't know.
And so he's like, okay, dude, don't want any trouble. And then that's when the action begins.
Yeah.
And this is where I think, Jason, when we were watching, you're like, oh, so it's a real action movie.
Yeah.
Um,
You can't keep going, but I got to step away for just a second.
right.
Okay.
And so he manages to fight this guy, sends him out the window, plummeting to his death, impaled on an icicle.
Yeah, but not before the gun scares off the reindeer.
Yes. Which has got Santa really pissed off too. And yeah, so there's the impaled bad guy. Santa's now stuck there because the reindeer took the sleigh away.
Yeah.
And so we got big problems here. And so Leguizamo is like explaining that she has $300 million in the house, and they are there to steal that money. Which that's a lot of money. I mean, 300 mil. That's just no. And hey, famous bear, good to see you.
Welcome.
And so, it's like what they're saying. We're going to take the money, and then everything will be fine. And but Mom is not even phased. And yes, Stanley, in cash. And he explains the whole thing because remember, she's as crooked as they come. That money was earmarked by the government to be distributed to others, and she pocketed it basically. So she's got $300 million in cash that she stole from the U.S. government. And so she's like, yeah, you're screwed because I got an extraction team. And Leguizamo's like, no, I already know about them. I'm not worried. And so...
their credit ratings and their dick sizes. Jesus,
he knows everything about them. And so he is not even worried about it. And when somebody knows this much, you listen. Because obviously, I mean, he knows about the extraction team, knows about the 300 million, knows all the family dynamics. This guy did his homework. So I would stop trying to dick around with this guy.
Yeah.
There's 300 million, disappeared in the fog of war. And so there's the safe. Typical Hollywood fashion, a safe designed like no safe would ever be, but hey, and so they're working on getting into the safe. Meanwhile, they find out that what's-his-name was killed, and so they need to figure out what to do. That there's a rogue worker
It calls him a gopher. He's a gopher on the loose.
Yeah. Never heard that term before.
Me either.
No.
I don't know. Yeah.
So Trudy, still believing that that's a magic radio to Santa, figures that Santa will be able to help him out. So she gets on the radio to try to reach Santa. And meanwhile, Santa's like, trying to call 911, but the phones are cut.
Not to have a nice little fight scene come up here.
Yeah, and then he runs into Candy Cane, who is an absolute badass, and the two of them start fighting in what was probably one of the best fight of the movie, as far as just straight up brawl.
Oh, they just keep going and going.
Die Hard Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so one interesting piece of lore. So Santa's sack doesn't just have toys in it. It's a magical alternate dimension kind of thing. So he reaches into the sack and notices the glow in there, and then he pulls out a present. and so that's just how
It's like its own pocket universe or
yeah.
whatever. You know?
Yeah.
The problem is he can't really control what the sack gives him, and so otherwise you just like have it give him all sorts of good weapons, but instead he gets a big old candy cane, and just and starts fighting this guy. But this guy has basically got Santa outclassed in hand to hand. But then Santa pulls a really nasty maneuver on this guy, and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
So first hits him in the face with the cue ball off the pool table, and then jabs him in the eye with a Christmas star.
And then plugs it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then
Sets
to
the dude
make
on
matters
fire.
worse, yeah, just right there.
Oh god.
Yeah, Merry effing Christmas, right? And
I like the little touch when he falls back and then just his whole head just bursts into flames.
Yeah.
And catches on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
the flame is very obviously digital, but it is a good little effect.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I do look how smoky the room gets.
Yeah. And Santa's like, whew, yeah.
Yeah. And so he gets their radio, and this is very diehardy right here, where he does get one of the bad guys' radio.
Priority 1
And
message.
geez,
Coming in on
I'm
secure
with
channel.
people today. What's this? Shut up. Yes, I know I purchased something from you. I'm not buying anything else. Thank you. Businesses are like, hey, we saw you bought something, so why don't you buy something else? It's almost Christmas. And then the alarm goes. All right. And so he's trying to call 911 on the radio, and he's like, hey, can anybody hear me? And he accidentally reaches out to Trudy. So the magic radio really is a magic radio to Santa.
I love this. I love this whole element in the
Yeah.
movie. The relationship that they
Yeah.
start up here. It's so good.
And so Trudy kind of, and so here we go. We start getting our naughty and nice list here. So Trudy is obviously on the nice list.
Look at that. Invited weird kid to party. I love
Yeah.
that.
Kept her room clean, listens to parents, kind to animals, sweet to everyone. Yeah, invited the weird kid to a party. So Trudy is a very good girl. And as opposed to some of the other people we're going to see later, who are not so nice. And he tells you you're on the nice list. And so she explains what's going on. There's bad guys with guns. And so, but the interesting thing is, I do like it. The way his naughty and nice list works is really cool.
Yeah.
Because every time he just thinks about people, the list pops up where they fall on it. So let's see. Can't really read all these. You see their names,
Yeah.
but couldn't quite make out what put them on the naughty list. And so, since there's a girl on the nice list there, he's going to help her. Oh yeah, and this is like so. Some of the really good dialogue here. He's like, you know what Santa does to naughty people, and she's like, he gives them a lump of coal. That's right. And each one, I'm going to give them each a lump of coal and shove it straight up. And then Trudy says, "They're the ass."
Yeah. And she demands to be, at least in the end, to be allowed to use the grammatically correct.
Yes. And he says, you want to keep it on the nice list. I like that.
Yeah.
And she goes, can I say butthole?
And then they end up going all the way down to anus.
Yeah,
Anus.
anus. Technically less. Anus is the technical term. And so he starts basically plotting with Trudy on how they're going to take out the bad guys.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're still trying to get into the vault, but because they're trying to get the robbery done before the kill squad shows up. And so now he's asking what's Frosty's status, and Santa.
Oh, so Frosty was the one that got the start of the face.
Yeah, he got a star in his face, and his head caught on fire. Oh man. Uh, and yeah. And so you see, he does not like Christmas. He absolutely does not like Christmas. So Santa's bleeding, so he's got to do something. But he's trying to find out who this Santa guy is, and nobody knows because they didn't hire a Santa. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So we're going to, we're going to start torturing people.
And the sister just throws Jason right under the bus.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, so they're like going to torture
Torture
people
him.
with a nutcracker. And so the sister's like, yeah, pick Jason. He's my mom's favorite. And I do like, this is one of the few smart things that they do is when, and Stan, what do you mean, isn't it only one day a year? Christmas, of course, is only one day a year, but I don't understand.
oh,
what-
he's been saying that the whole show. He's like,
Right.
Santa's got one job. He only has to work one day a year. Cry me a river. He's just continuing.
Well,
his shtick.
there's a lot of prep that goes into that one day.
Yeah.
And living at the North Pole ain't easy.
So he only flies for one day of the year.
Right. But yeah, so he's gonna shoot people dead, and Bert's like, what if you shoot the one guy that knows what happened to the 3 in a million? So
Oh,
it's
that's
like-
later. That's actually later.
Well,
that's
that's why they so they go.
No, isn't that why he gets the nutcracker?
Yeah, that's why he got the nutcracker, because he was going to shoot people, and he said because the money's missing. And
No, money's not missing yet.
yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
think.
That hasn't happened yet.
Well, maybe they're just trying. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to torture everyone in your family till you tell me who's running. Oh, he's trying to find out who Santa is.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Where the money is when the psychopath is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just they're like, okay, we're going to torture this guy. So they put his finger in a nutcracker.
Oh God, yeah. I don't.
That was brutal, right there.
Yeah, that was very.
And they take his
Dancy
finger off.
Cringerton on that.
Yeah,
one.
with a nutcracker.
Yeah.
And that just hurts just thinking about it.
Yeah. I love her response when he's like, he's
Right.
like, I'm not touching his junk. He's like, I've seen you scoop out brains. I'll scoop his brains out. If you
Yeah,
want
so
to.
now
I'm
they're
not
gonna
touching
Yeah.
So they said, yeah, they got the big nutcracker and literally put his nuts in it. And it's like, as soon as he started talking about that, I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I would tell you anything right then.
Yeah.
You threaten me with that thing, and I'll be like, Santa. It's a guy named Jason. Just make stuff up.
Yeah.
He was ex special forces, but we can't control the guy. And so they're like gonna kill, or not kill him, but fate worse than death. They're gonna lop his nuts off. But then Trudy's like trying to tell him, no, it really is Santa, because she talks to him on the radio, and they're trying to say, it's all make believe. And so, yeah, and right here, Dad just crushes her. Santa isn't real.
Damn it, Trudy, Santa isn't real. Oh. And then that jerk Scrooge is like, oh, maybe we can come back on Easter and ruin the bunny for her too.
Yeah. So then we see Santa takes off his coat, and he's covered in ink. And he needs to stitch himself up. So he gets a bunch of Christmas stuff to fix himself with. Bites down on a cookie to take care of the pain. Uses a Christmas hook and some tinsel to sew it up.
Oh, yeah.
That is and then it wraps it with wrapping paper and a perfect bow. And Famous Bear says, no, I won't watch this movie. Why not? It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you really should have seen it before watching us do
Or are
this.
you saying you want to watch it? But it seems like you're saying you won't watch it, but you should.
Oh, it's worth it.
So we get a quick glimpse of backstory on Santa here. This isn't when we get the whole thing, but we do get a little glimpse that Santa was a Viking.
This is the point where yeah. The
Yeah,
movie
you were
just-
totally on board. You
Yeah,
were
the
like,
movie just completely consumed me at this point. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, Santa's a Viking. All
Yeah.
right.
But that's a beautiful story because it explains why he's such a badass.
You know what the best? You know what the best line from a science fiction movie is for that?
What?
As soon as you see him,
What's that?
is Vasquez from Aliens.
No.
Let's rock.
Yeah, so we know that's why Santa's such a badass.
Yeah.
So
And now he passes out.
Yeah, he passes out from the pain. But Trudy's still trying to get a hold of him. Says, "Are you okay?" She ran away and hid in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
So Santa's like, "Okay, you hold up there, and I'm going to deal with the rest of them." And then I love that she's going to set booby traps like in Home Alone. Oh lordy!
I love how self-aware this movie is.
Yes.
You got the
Yeah.
Die Hard reference, the Home Alone reference. They don't even shy away from it. They
Yeah.
just lean
No,
into it.
and even if it's a dumb thing, I love the fact that they actually pick it back up later.
Yeah.
Like they don't leave anything laying on the floor.
And she talks to Santa about the fact that Dad just said he wasn't real. Santa kind of, and that the parents.
I love these little scenes
Yeah.
between the two of them because they are amongst all this bizarre.
But they hardly ever see
violence.
each other in the entire film. That's,
But they have all this touching dialogue that just like for half a second you forget you're watching this R-rated gore fest that's about
Yeah.
to,
well, that's
so
the
it's really
thing. This
well
movie
done.
has got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works so well. And so he only gives presents to the ones that need him. She's like, "How do you know who needs you?" And he's like, "Christmas magic." But
Oh, and this is sweet. He's telling her
yeah,
stories of her past, presents.
right,
so
because he remembers
knows-
everything.
Yeah.
And so, like every letter you write to Santa, he knows about it, and so he can tells her about when she wrote that letter about wanting the best friend. She wanted to fly. He couldn't do that, but he gave her a kite. And so it's a sweet conversation when they kind of deal with the whole Santa's mythological thing. And then she wants Santa to make her parents love each other, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't do that." And
I think he just said that he and the wife were going on year 1100.
yeah, he's
is
been
close.
married for 1,100 years, but obviously their relationship is not the same. So,
And Mother, what have we told you? Don't reference other people's channels in the chat. We don't care what other people say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary, is she talking about?
No. I'm not going to name the channel. But,
All right.
but yeah.
Anyway, so we're not trying to advertise for other people. Anyway, so the
This psychopath.
Yeah.
Hey, let's open up some gifts. I want to see what you rich assholes give each other.
yeah, so he's going to make them open presents, and so he gives her a pitch for a movie because he wants her to finance a new movie. Could you imagine? Dude, that is like... I mean, guys give some pretty crappy gifts sometimes because we have a tendency to give people what we want as opposed to what we think they want. But this is screwed. He's literally giving her, a little thing saying, "Give me money."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And so
You got to be pretty self-absorbed for that to be And he actually thought it was a good gift. And so did she.
well, she gives him a sentimental photo. Now, the sentimental photo thing, I could see that because remember, these are rich people. Mm-hmm. And not to belittle the rich, because hey, I wouldn't mind being rich, but if you're getting a gift for a rich person, the value of the gift is meaningless. You know, the actual shopping of a present, like, ooh, I got you a PlayStation 5. Well, I got 20 of them. It's not a big deal to a rich person, but you
Yeah.
give them something sentimental, and that's what this picture is supposed to represent. But mom is just such a cold, hard bee that, she doesn't give a crap. So then they're like, okay, Jason, your turn. He's like, oh, I think I forgot the gift. But remember, at the beginning of the movie, we saw him bring the gift in.
And Bertrude has to,
Yeah, Bertrude gets in the way. So she opens it up, and it's her favorite whiskey. And there's a card, and he's like, oh, you don't have to read the note. You really don't have to read it. And she's like, no, I'm going to read it. And she reads it, and look at the look on her face.
Yeah.
It's like, he did something. But the nice thing, and thank you for, not revealing it to Jason ahead of time, because the whole plot hinges on what's in that note.
Yes, yeah.
Even though it's not revealed other than through the look on her face, it probably has something to do with the money. And I look at that look. And so she's saying, hey, what's in the note is nobody's business. That's between me and Jason. And so then we get the backstory of Santa.
Nice.
Yeah, this is his real name, Nicomund.
And then he gives his last name here too,
Yeah,
which is probably underneath my head.
Nicomund the
Nicomund
Red.
the Red.
Yeah. There we go.
No, I have it so that you get all the subtitles. I'm making sure of that.
So,
And Nicomund, using his hammer Skull Crusher, was this vicious Viking warrior back in the day. Look at that.
Yeah.
So
Blood soaked.
yeah. So who's Skull Crusher? My favorite hammer. So he was a Viking warrior that specialized in combat with a war hammer called Skull Crusher, and then he became Santa.
Hey, I gotta go. I'll fill you guys in later.
Okay, man.
You gonna be all right?
It'll be okay.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
So Skull Crusher is, let me make sure we get him off there. I will just leave that there as a reminder. He'll be missed. All right, so he figures that because he was so bad is why he got basically tasked with being Santa. But he doesn't really know for sure. But, because it's Christmas magic and he doesn't quite understand magic. And then the team, the extraction team is getting ready and they had time to lube up.
Okay, so you were correct. Famous Bear, it was a typo. He meant he needs to watch it.
Yes, you absolutely need to watch this.
And yes, that is the sheriff from Stranger Things, David
Yes.
Harbour. Right.
And he's a great Santa.
Yeah.
So he is.
I love him in this
He's
movie.
one of my all-time favorite Santas in film.
Yeah.
So then he's like gonna strangle her with some garland, but the little Santa actually, since it says that, he loses the drop on her, and she traps him behind a locked door. They blow up the door, so they capture Santa. It's not looking good.
Why you got to fat shame Santa, Scrooge? Come on. How'd this fat piece of shit get the drop on us? Come on.
Hey, because it's all right. I don't mind fat shaming. You can call me fat all day long. It's understandable. Stanley Best said the words Hellboy. I didn't hate him as Hellboy.
I actually never saw that one.
A lot of people hate on that movie. I didn't think it was that bad. I think that people were just loved Ron Perlman so much that they couldn't get past that.
I didn't see the need to reboot it so soon, Also, that was my
Well, because Hellboy is he's such a dark character in comparison to most superheroes. So I guess they were thinking, hey, we could make a gold mine off of this, but it just didn't launch. You know. Anyway, so they tie Santa up, and trying to figure out what's going on with this guy. And I do love that he kind of messes with their heads a little bit because he calls them all by their real name, talks about some of the letters that they wrote as kids.
Oh, this is a good scene. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
because he gets underneath the skin of the two henchmen, but just
yeah.
can't crack Scrooge at all.
Right. Scrooge is unfazed, even though, you know, he's saying all this stuff to prove he really is Santa. So Trudy makes it snow in there to distract him, and they're like, "It's a Christmas miracle," and he's like, "No, this is styrofoam, you idiots." And so there, but he manages to. How did he get away there? Oh yeah, he jumps out the window, and
No. He does the
oh
nose thing. He does the nose thing because the guy
oh
starts
that's right,
shooting
yeah,
at him.
that's right. They start shooting at him. He does the nose thing, comes up the chimney,
Yeah, yeah.
and so now they know that the kill squad is almost there. I like that. What are you gonna do, you little elf bee? Uh, Bam!
Yeah.
That's
Punch a
a
little.
better punch.
Yeah,
The timing is almost right on.
yeah.
Like he's like one frame off from being perfect.
Gorilla, Merry Christmas to you
Hey,
as
Gorilla,
well.
good to see you. Merry Christmas to you. Um, I will
Oh,
admit, yeah,
John
John.
Claude Van dipshit. I love that line.
Yeah. So yeah, the John. As far as the Hellboy thing, yes, the story did suck, but I don't think that Harbor was the problem. But everybody says how he's a horrible Hellboy. I think he was fine as Hellboy. He just the movie needed a better
I
writer.
I never saw the movie, so that's
Yeah.
probably part of the problem. A lot of
It's
people were probably like
yeah.
me, and just didn't bother with it.
Right. So yeah, so Jean Claude Van Dipshit, I that like best line in there.
Yeah,
By the way, parkour as he jumps over the couch
yeah. It's like
and jumps out the window, and
I love that line.
because they heard the kill squad, so he's going to get out there and actually warn them and let them know, hey, here's what's going on. And he goes, I think they're ready for you. And he's like, they better be. And then they just mow him down.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, that's the end of him. So
and
yeah,
clearly the kill squad is on the take and on Team Scrooge.
yeah.
So.
And so then Santa looks at the naughty list, and the kill squad's all on the naughty list. So that's not good.
It's no bueno.
Yeah. Let's see. And it says, beats everyone. It's really hard to read this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are all very, very bad dudes. Get this over. And back down. All right. So, yeah, and they're like, yeah, it might be the real Santa. I like that. When they see him on the
It's like,
roof.
what the fuck? What did you just say?
Yeah. So they're getting into the vault, and this is where the vault is empty. All $300 million is gone.
Well, there's a few $100 bills sprinkled on the floor there, but
And hey, Laura, good to see you. Yeah, I know. I meant to do an open mic this week, but I just couldn't get to it. However, what I'm planning on doing is doing an open mic show on Christmas Day. And so, Laura, I don't know what you're doing on Christmas, but keep an eye out for it if you want to join in. And so So then,
Read that.
which one?
On the screen, man. I'm doing my job for you.
Oh, Laura's withdrawal systems for not being in a stream with Darren. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to drop by with the kids, that's awesome. But yeah, I figure, live stream on Christmas for people that don't have anybody to hang out with on Christmas morning. I mean, I think that's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
I'll start out kind of like the church live streams where I'll probably talk about the real meaning of Christmas. Maybe look at what I think the Christmas story's in Matthew, if I remember correctly. And then after that, we'll just hang out and talk about whatever. So Santa's like, yeah, this is not, they've got their gadgets and their gizmos. I love the fact that Santa does not understand modern weapons. While he is a complete and utter badass, he's a badass from 1100 years ago.
Yeah.
And so when he sees, M16s or AR-15s, that's a gadget and a gizmo.
Yeah.
That he doesn't understand it.
But business about to pick up though, because he's about to find him a hammer.
Just drop the spoiler, why don't you?
Come on, look, like here it comes.
Yeah, so he's crawling around in the tool shed, and yes, he stumbles across a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer.
And because he dropped his wedding ring, and he was talking about how if he could have one Christmas wish, it would be to see Mrs. Claus again before he dies, because he thinks he's going to die. And so he sees the sledgehammer, and he's like, okay, it's on. And then what do you do to the naughty ones? Give them a lump of coal. Give them their lumps. Pick that coal, shove it right up their anuses.
Yeah.
So Santa's going to kick some anus. And so even though Santa's got a sledgehammer, he's not, he's strong. He's got the magic powers of being able to teleport through chimneys, but he's not invincible. He's not bulletproof. 4 guys with guns are going in after him. I feel sorry for those 4 guys with guns.
Yeah.
Because they're going in against one of the greatest warriors of all time. And right there, look at that. See, even looks like a warrior, even though he's Santa, So he's got his hammer. Yeah, so he's like, okay, here we go. First guy's down. Neck snaps. Guys. And now we go back to, okay, where's the money? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this is the part where the kid says...
he's going to say, I'm going to start shooting people. And the kid's like, well, what if you shoot the one who knows where the money is? Yeah, ho, ho, ho. Now I have a sledgehammer. That line should have been in there somewhere.
Right.
All right. Makes you want to randomly shoot at people. What if you randomly shoot the one person who knows where it is? It's like, oh, crap. He says, this effing family. So,
yeah. Like, rah!
Candy came through the face. Through the face. So because Santa's been sucking on that big old candy cane, making it into a really sharp point. Now, granted, in reality, the candy cane would shatter. It would not, it would hurt you, but it wouldn't go through you. You would definitely be not feeling good, but it wouldn't do that kind of thing.
Well, then he continues using it, stabbing these other,
Yeah, and so, look, just using it like a shiv on these guys.
Yeah.
And now this is a Hollywood trope I can't stand. So we got all these guys have gun cams on, and as he kills them, the signal's lost. Why?
Yeah.
Are they hitting the off button as they die?
Right. Yeah, that is a Hollywood trope. I mean,
Yeah,
you figured you just see the ceiling or something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Or a close up of the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Santa pretty much look at this guy. Bam! Look at that. Bam! Oh, that just hurts. You know, a sledgehammer to the chest like that, you are never getting up again. You know, you know, a sledgehammer hitting you that hard is going to shatter your sternum, every rib, and probably compress your heart to where it just stops beating. Yeah. And so Santa Claus is using what? Oh, I didn't see which one you highlighted, but Santa Claus is using candy canes to disable the device after the kill. And it's all about the mental warfare. So it depends on how high end the rock candy is. I know some places make deadly rock. I don't think it would be hard enough. I don't know that there's any candy because it's basically, and candy canes aren't as hard as rock candy. Rock candy is just basically crystallized sugar.
Yeah, but you know, these people are rich. I mean, I've never seen a candy cane that big. I usually only get the
Oh,
little
I've
cheap
seen
ones,
candy
you
canes
know.
that big,
That's a big,
but
girthy.
yeah, and you know what? You could stab into like exposed flesh. Like if you stabbed your leg, it would go in, but it wouldn't go through bone.
Oh yeah.
You know, and because yeah. It should say you died, not signal loss. That'd be hilarious. This guy's, or like vitals are, lost vitals or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, things are definitely not going good for the kill squad. Oh yeah, little stocking stuffer.
He's like, I gotta watch.
Yeah. As he stuffed a grenade down this guy's pants. I love that. Where is it? F, 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 F. And then Santa's like, I gotta watch. Turns around to watch the guy blow.
Boom.
By the way, that's a pretty good transition. If you look carefully, you see the guy's moving, but then right here you can tell it's a dummy. So the movement there is either by remote control or it's CG animation put over it. And then, bam. That way they could really blow up a dummy.
Mm-hmm. I gotta watch. That was so funny.
Yeah. So, yeah. So then he admits that he stole the money. So what was in the note from the present earlier was that he took the money from Mom.
Yeah.
And so, the thing, but now, and he admits what he did was wrong, but he was just trying to figure out a way to get out from under Mom's thumb. And John, I'll tell you, well, grenades don't have a smaller explosion, but they don't have a fireball explosion. As a person who's in the Army, grenades are fragmentation devices. And so what they use in movies is usually like a gasoline bomb. So it creates a big fireball. But grenades actually have a lot of explosive force. If a grenade goes off and you're within about a 10-meter circle of it, you are dead. However, you don't see a 10-meter fireball.
Right.
So yeah, it's just the type of explosion. In fact, a fireball type explosion is very weak because the more flame and fire you have, the less concussive force there is.
Yeah. Well, those are called incendiary grenades, right? When they big fireballs like that.
Well, no, actually, incendiary grenades are more like the most common is white phosphorus, right? And the way it looks like a little canister as opposed to the pineapple-looking grenades.
Okay.
And when you explode it, it basically spreads out a liquid that burns when it makes contact with the air. And so it's designed to destroy equipment and act as a signaling device. It is a violation of the Geneva Convention to use such a device on people.
Oh.
Because ever since Vietnam, using things like napalm and stuff on people is basically banned. And so, okay, we get this is unfortunately Jason's not here, but we get to Jason's favorite scene in the movie, which is the Home Alone scene.
Oh God, yeah.
Uh,
This little, yeah.
so these two figure out where the girl is, and he sees that she rigged the stairs exactly like Home Alone. And so he's like, "Yeah, that's cute and all, but if you're gonna put a trap there, you shouldn't make it so easily. Yeah, booby traps don't work unless you hide
You
them."
hide them.
And of course, you see she cut through the next step up,
Yeah.
and which is exactly what you should do in a situation like this.
Hey, why is it saying that the broadcast is ending?
Uh-oh, it says it's ending.
Yeah, it says
Where are you seeing that?
the
In the studio?
yeah.
Yeah, don't ignore it.
Ignore. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll keep going. It's just warning you that like we're hitting a plateau of time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it's not going to actually end.
Oh, okay.
Why it does that, I don't know. I think if it's because it thinks that there's a limit on YouTube or whatever. But if it does end, we'll just restart it right away. So
I tell you what, though, this looks painful. That what's about to come up. Oh,
yes,
my God.
this is brutal. This whole scene,
Yeah.
right there.
Ah.
So yeah, that's what got that. For the Patreons, you don't want to miss this. Jason's reaction to this scene was priceless. But yeah, he falls and bam! Look at that.
Oh God! Stop!
And then opens up his mouth so you can see it, and
Yeah.
that is brutal. So she's got the rest of the stuff set up. So she's waiting for the girl to come up. She says, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill this little piece of crap." And what she doesn't know is she's got a bunch of bowling balls set up. And so this is Home Alone, but realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
Because I mean, you take a bowling ball to the head, you're going down, and which is exactly what happens. And
Oh. Yeah. Ow.
that hurt. And famous I see about leaving the stream not to not spoil the movie, but just making me more interested. I will press the thumbs up. Hey, absolutely. I understand if you do. I hate to see you go, but at the same time, yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, man, go watch it. Do yourself a favor and watch it. This movie,
It's really good.
Support this movie. I'm not showing you all this stuff so that you don't have to watch it. I'm showing you, and this is a testament to it. So listen up, Universal. Famous Bear is going to give you a couple of shekels to watch this movie because he's watching this live stream.
Yeah.
So, that's why these kinds of live streams are good. As long as we're not like playing the movie for everybody. So
Right.
look at that. He pulls the nail out of his butt. And it's like, oh, that's just absolutely brutal. And so the girl's like, I'm going to kill it. And so look at this. He's looking at the nail. And what happens? Bowling ball hits the nail into his head.
Oh yeah. Why would you even look at the nail? That was the only thing that was like, what an idiot.
Well, so that they could do that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So he is now officially dead. So little Trudy kills one of them, sets a glue trap for her.
So is that going to put her on the naughty list though? I didn't think about
No, because it's in self-defense, so I don't think
No.
that would put you on the naughty list.
that. Okay.
Now, cruelty would put you on the naughty list. But Trudy's not doing this because she just saw Home Alone.
Yeah,
She,
yeah.
So she's not expecting these people to die. She's thinking of the Wet Bandit gang who survive everything just fine.
Right.
Right. So even though Trudy is technically guilty of manslaughter, that's. So she falls into the glue. Now, I would say that. So if this is actual glue, like the kind of glue you use in glue traps, she would not be able to get up. She would absolutely be stuck there. like I don't know if you see people have done videos of like making human-sized glue traps, and you get one of those things and you are screwed. That's why they're vicious. Have you ever seen a mouse or a rat in a glue trap? Oh, it is not pretty.
Yeah. She rips off a piece of her scalp too.
Yeah,
She's
and so she's trying to get up, and the other thing is how she arches her back to get off the glue trap, which is totally unrealistic. Like that move, no way that's going to happen. And then she's like, because big chunk of her scalp stayed with the glue.
yeah.
And so this is some seriously brutal stuff. And Trudy's sitting there going, haha, guess what? I got a slingshot here. And right when she's about to shoot Trudy, Santa Claus shows up and hits her with
Wham!
the hammer, taking out whatever her name is. And so Trudy and Santa get their moment together. And it's so funny because this is we're an hour and 23 minutes into the movie, and this is the first time Trudy and Santa come face to face.
Right. Yeah.
And so and he's like, yeah, cover your eyes and sing Jingle Bells while I finish her off. Santa is not effing around. Because,
You're about to murder an innocent child?
Yeah.
Naughty.
Yeah. Bam. Look at that.
Squishing thud. And this is how depraved this family is. The mom is actually proud of the son
For stealing her money,
for
yes.
stealing the money.
Now, granted, mom's wouldn't go broke even if he got away with the money, because this is all money she skimmed from the government.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and he hid the money in the nativity scene of all places. That is a messed up way to hide the money. I'm just saying, hide it with Jesus. And so now they got the money. They're like, okay, we can kill everybody now. And so this guy's like, who do I want to kill? Who am I going to kill first? And so they're all, this is like where the family shows its true colors once again. They're all like, oh, kill them and like the kid's like, hey, at least kill her first. And so they're like arguing over who they're going to kill, and then they end up getting him. The three of them tag team him and take him down. And so then they see Trudy survived, and they meet Santa. And I like that Santa, he's like, hey, does anybody know how to work these gizmos with the guns? And Mom used to go hunting, so she actually knows how to use a rifle. And Ariel, skimming money from the government, the best kind of stealing. Respectfully, I'll disagree that there is a best kind of stealing. But if there was, I don't think I would say stealing $300 million from the government is it. I would say stealing a loaf of bread to prevent yourself from starving might be the best kind of stealing. Hiding the money with Jesus, Catholic Church style. Wow, John. You really went there. So she plays sniper. It starts picking off people from a distance, or at least trying to. But notice, and I got to give them some credit. They could easily Mary Sue the crap out of her by making it so that not only can she shoot, but she was like an ace sharpshooter and making headshots from 500 yards or something, But no, she misses. But she does take one of them out, and. So they decide, well, it's time to go. And they all take off with Mom as a hostage. And Santa's like, okay, I'm going after him. But since he doesn't
I like how he made that perfect snowball and actually made it hard. That was funny.
Well, yeah, because that's, again, probably one of his powers. But I do like Santa's he doesn't know how to work a snow machine. So he's like, I'll just grab this here toboggan and go after him.
Yeah.
Because, who is that guy? Well, it's Santa, So then one guy is still there. So Mom and Dad, while they got they kissed, they take him out.
Well, they were about to kiss, and
yeah,
he's such a wimp. My
yeah.
God, like she does all the fighting here, you know.
Well, that's the one, like, if you want to say wokish thing about the movie, it's that she's the strong one in the family.
Yeah,
However, the way their characters come across, I find them believable.
yeah.
You know, so it doesn't really bother me that much. So, I mean, and he does do his best here. You know, it's not like he does nothing.
He's screaming like a little girl. It's
Yeah,
like
but he does. But if he didn't jump on him like that, they wouldn't have got him.
yeah. Now this is hilarious. This is like crack shot right here.
Well, we were talking about Santa Claus. Santa on a toboggan is probably pretty dangerous. And so, yeah, Santa's taking people out. This is akin to the speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
You know, jumping from snowmobile to snowmobile, killing them. Meanwhile, that now they've officially made up.
like he
And
literally did nothing in that fight. She ended up
I
having to
know.
save
Remember,
herself,
it just showed you he jumped the guy from behind.
but she had to stab him with the icicle.
Yeah,
Well, she, you know, I don't know. I just, man,
I admit that the guy could have been stronger, but you know they again. But also, they're going up against a guy who's literally part of a kill squad.
yeah. Look at that. Look at that smile. That
Yeah.
just, how does that not warm your heart? That's just beautiful.
Yeah. What streaming service? Well, Tristan, I own the movie, so that's how we were watching it.
But it's on Amazon Prime though, if you want to.
Yeah, this year it's on Amazon Prime. Last year you'd have to pay for it.
Yeah.
If
Well,
so,
because
if you,
it just came out last year. So
yeah.
that's-
So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it there. But you can also buy it on Vudu if you want. Which you know what, this movie is worth buying.
oh yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, I understand. Stream it first. But this movie is absolutely worth owning.
Oh wow, John, shots fired. Fair enough. Okay. Touche, sir.
Well, you know, you do have kind of a reputation there, Danny.
Yeah.
So Scrooge is now waiting for Santa. The two of them are going to fight mano a mano. And, okay, here we go. So Jimmy Martinez, that's Scrooge's real name. He's on the naughty list. All
So
right.
now he's starting to believe. Killed his best friend. Spreads misery. What else does that say? Broke his mother's heart. Oh,
Thief.
thief.
Murderer. Yeah, this guy is not good. Hates Christmas. The worst crime of them all. Greedy. Selfish.
Income tax fraud.
Tax fraud.
Well, that is how they got Al Capone. So
Yes. So, yeah, this guy's got a lot of problems here. All right, so let me recenter this. And recenter here. What does that say? I can't read it.
says this movie is worth a rent. Thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they're gonna duke it out. And he's like, "Wait, you're real?" And the funny thing is, like, most people, their mind would be blown by meeting a real Santa Claus, but his whole thing is, "Oh, I'm so glad you're real because now I can kill you and end Christmas."
Christmas. Yeah, he's got a hard on for. Yeah, like
Yeah.
he just wants. Yeah, he hates Christmas. I mean, I guess we skipped over it earlier. They did tell a little story explaining.
Right, that bad things happen to him on Christmas, and
You know, he accidentally killed his grandfather while trying to steal money from or steal presents from rich people or something
Yeah.
like that. But whatever. So doesn't
and,
justify.
Christmas dies tonight. And so the two of them start fighting. And it's obvious that Scrooge here is actually kind of a badass himself. You know, but then there's a big explosion, they get out, and he's got spikes built into his shoes to give him traction on the ice, which, by the way, I don't think that's contrivance, because you would have that if he as prepared as he is for this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You know, look at this.
Oh,
Throws an ice pick into his glutes.
Ah.
That's gotta hurt.
Oh.
Oh man. Drags him across the ice by that ice pick.
Ah.
You know. You know, so they tussle back and forth a little bit more. Santa gets his thing, trying to get him, but man, he's just got the upper hand everywhere. But then they're pushed up against an abandoned fireplace, and he stabs Santa in the hand, trapping him there. And I mean, it's looking bad for Santa. It's looking real bad for Santa. And so, but what can he do? He can do the one thing that Santa can do. He touches his nose.
And this is gory. This is gory.
When he touches his nose, it pulls him through the chimney. But notice, he doesn't disintegrate like Santa. Look at that.
Ugh.
And so he is sucked through the chimney. Look at that. Oh, snap. That is vicious right there. So
You're having way too much fun with that battle.
Bam, 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 and then snap and up into the chimney.
But it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen.
And then he's holding this, his torso, basically.
Yeah, that's it. That's all that's left.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's just a pile of meat. And look, there's raining giblets everywhere.
Yeah, God.
Little bits of John Douglas everywhere. And so, yeah, that pretty much ended it for him. But then Santa takes a gunshot from this guy.
There's like 4 or 5 gunshots.
Yeah. But Mom actually pulls out a gun and finishes that guy. But Santa is not doing well. You know, they say,
So
oh,
this
no.
scene, first time I saw this movie, this scene did tear me up. Did make me tear up.
Yeah.
When you
I'll admit, I got a little dewy-eyed on a few scenes here.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. You know, even though you know Santa's not really gonna die, he dies. And you know, but the family comes to the realization that he really is Santa. And Trudy's like, I believe in you, Santa. And so then they all start saying how they believe in Santa. And that brings him back from the dead. And so after they say, this is my favorite line for Santa. He's like, you know, you saved our daughter. How can we ever repay you? And he's like, well, you brought me back from the dead.
So, pretty sure we're even.
Yeah, so we'll call it even. You know, then the reindeer come back. And so but they bring his spare sack, and also Mrs. Claus leaves a note saying, "I thought you might need this too," and leaves him his skull crusher, and so now he has his hammer for the rest of the night. Although, would have been nice if he actually got to use skull crusher.
Yeah.
You know. So then they hug. He goes off into Christmas and gives the classic Merry Christmas. The end.
Well, there's that after credit scene if you want to show that. I don't know if you do or not.
Right. There's a very brief. Let's see. Right here. Yeah, we get the stupid kid.
Yeah.
Doing this live stream say, "Hey yo, what's Gucci Squad fam? It's Burt Locker living the dream. You know what? See this guy dead as hell. Santa's real, all right. Don't end up on the naughty list. Do better." So yeah. So there you go. So violent night. Unfortunately, we can't get a rating from Jason because of whatever happened there. But what's going to be your rating?
Oh my God! I don't know. Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
That's an 11. I love this movie.
Well, you can't give it an 11. So, but 10.
10. Yeah,
All right.
10.
So because it's this show, we're not going to do the Michael Burnham vomiting countdown.
Awesome.
All right. But what we are going to do is the Santa countdown.
I'm eating here, man. Come on.
So 10 out of 10 for you, huh?
Hell yeah.
All right. So I will say, there we go. There's the 10. And Arabic says, thank God it's over. Feels like tortured movie night with Matthew. Wow, really?
Wow.
I like this movie. I won't quite give it a 10, but I really like this movie. I'm going to give it a 9. Because I do think that it's not a perfect movie, but it is a darn near perfect movie. Hopefully, I don't know what Jason would give it. But our official score pending Jason is a 9.5 out of 10.
And we'll find out tomorrow. I'll be posting my review on Critic List later tonight.
Yeah, I need to do that too, since we've been talking about it, and I'll link to this live stream there, assuming this live stream doesn't get taken down like the last year's did.
Right.
So there we go. Violent Night, truly a violent Christmassy movie. But it's if you haven't seen it, I hope that our going through it convinces you to see it, because it is so freaking worth it.
It's really good. Yeah.
And so, any last things you want to say about the movie before we wrap it up?
No, I just not really. Nothing. We've already said it all. I mean, just a great Christmas flick with the perfect balance of action and heart.
Heavy
And
on the heart too. That's the thing.
Yeah, and which was surprising. So I love this movie. So good.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting it to be a fun, silly movie where Santa's going around killing people, but I was not expecting it to have that much of a heartfelt story.
Yeah,
And to really be about Christmas.
yeah. And Mr. Trent, last year we actually reviewed this movie and Fat Man, but that video got taken down. So
yeah, and I would say this: Fat Man is not a bad movie, but it does not hold a candle to this.
Yeah, no.
Fat Man, for those of you that don't know, is Mel Gibson plays Santa, and Santa in that one is paying for everything at his workshop through government contracts, because the government pays him to deliver toys every year. However, due to government cutbacks, he's not making enough money to pay the bills. So the government then wants him to use the elves to make weapons. Meanwhile, some kid that got dissed by Santa decides to hire an assassin to come to the North Pole and kill Santa. And that's basically the entire story.
Yeah, that sums it up. Yeah.
And it's not bad, but honestly, I think that one of the things that makes this one work so much better is that it's not someone going after Santa. It's Santa, learning to do the right thing. Santa has a good character arc in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong place.
And
the wrong
Ariel, yeah, we were actually talking about watching Krampus tomorrow, actually. So, and then we'll talk about that next week. And yeah, you're right. The Bad Santa does have the interesting lore of the elves eating lots of sugar, which is why they live so long, which is kind of weird. All right, so with that, we're going to wrap things up. Hopefully Jason's okay. And I have a feeling it probably has to do with Jason's wife's work, because the situation where she works has not been good. So if you're the praying type, pray for Jason and his wife, because she's got a really messy situation on the job. And obviously I don't begrudge him for having to go, because family needs to come first.
Oh yeah, no. And when you could tell it was serious. I mean, the look on his face. So I was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he wouldn't bail unless it was something for real. Like maybe his wife is upset, or something.
Yeah.
And so, but with that, we're going to wrap it up. And truly, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and Merry Christmas. I am going to do the regular Sunday morning live stream on Christmas Eve. And we're going to do probably an open line Christmas morning sometime.
Right
Don't know
on.
exactly what time yet. But it'll probably be too early for Danny because Danny likes to get up at the crack of noon.
That's not necessarily always true. You know.
Not necessarily always true, but usually.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Well, I mean, you're up late though. I mean, to be fair, you're a night owl.
Yeah.
And I tend to be up very late, but I think it's the medication that I take. The thing that sucks is I'm drowsy all the time, but I can't sleep for long. And so if the slightest thing wakes me up, then I'm up for hours. So like, just hypothetically, if somebody texts me at 2:00 in the morning, then it would take me like 2-3 hours to get back to sleep. And that just, it's rough. But I even though I'm always drowsy, I seem to be existing on like 4 hours of sleep a night, and then occasionally falling asleep during the day, which you guys have seen me fall asleep while we've been recording. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So, in response to that not so subtle hint, I will refrain from text messages to you.
I'm not saying you did it. You did, but I'm not saying you did it.
Right.
Anyway, so guys, take care. God bless, and remember, you are the salt of the earth. I am the salty trekker. And really, hope you guys have a great Christmas if you don't join me in between now and then. This has been a weird year for a lot of us, but let's hope that. But honestly, 2023 was not as bad as 2022 or 2021, so I'll give it that much. So, Danny, what do you got planned for Christmas?
Well,